Hare Krishna, Namaste. Chapter 12, which is entitled as Bhakti Yoga, Sloka 6 and 7, Part 3. Etu sarvāṇi karmāṇi mayi sannyasya mat-parāḥ ananyenaiva yogena dhyāyanta upāsate teṣām ahaṁ samuddhartā mṛtyu-saṁsāra-sāgarāt bhavāmi cirāt pārtha mayi āveśita-cetasām. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pṛthā, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. In the last part, we learned how a bhakta engages himself every day, all times, thinking about Krishna. He performs dhyāna, archana, pranama, stuti and kirtana. When he performs this, he does for the sake of doing, bringing pleasure to Krishna. Whereas Krishna in turn wants to give pleasure to his devotees. There is a transcendental mutual relationship between Bhakta and Bhagavan. For such devotees, mayy āveśita-cetasām, having their mind fixed on me, Krishna, teṣām, for them, cirāt, without any further delay, mṛtyu-saṁsāra-sāgarāt, from the ocean of samsara, the worldly existence, which is only filled with ignorance, bhavāmi, samuddhartā, become savior. Krishna is saying that he becomes a savior. He swiftly pulls them out of this samsara, material existence. Here, an interesting point to be noted. Samsara means this worldly existence, which is filled with birth, death, disease and old age. The ocean of material existence is compared to mṛtyu. Mṛtyu means death, death personification. Mṛtyu-saṁsāra-sāgarāt. So Krishna is going to deliver that person out of this material existence, which is death personification, mṛtyu. But in general, for majority of us, we don't see this world to be mṛtyu. Rather, we see it as heaven, as we try to derive as much as pleasure in this world and extend our stay in this world. That means many of us are thinking this is heavenly, whereas Krishna says mṛtyu. No, this is not heavenly, it's deadly. Why Krishna says it's deadly? Because it shows the opposite of what it is actually supposed to show. It shows that which is not real to be real, unreal to be unreal. It shows the truth to be false and false to be truth. It shows the existence to be non-existence and non-existence to be existence. It shows that which is nitya to be anitya and anitya to be nitya. This is what samsara does for all of us. The mṛtyu at least directly takes off one's life from the body. Does rūpa-nāsanam, one's body is finished. The Atma is left alone. It does not kill the Atma. Of course, this may sound weird. We know that Atma cannot be killed. But the point here is, the mṛtyu only touches the body, rūpa-nāsanam, whereas the samsara does ātma-swarūpa-nāsanam, meaning it steals or finishes the swarupa, the essential nature of the Atma. The essential nature of the Atma is seshatvam, having the servitude attitude towards Krishna. What samsara does is to attack or to destroy that nature, that swarupa of Atma. That is why the samsara is called here as mṛtyu. The mṛtyu destroys the body, whereas the samsara destroys the Atma's swarupa, the servitude attitude. So both destroys. Therefore, samsara is called here as mṛtyu. Let's get further into detail of this topic, as this is very important. The Atma is jñātritvam and anandamayatvam, meaning the Atma is full of knowledge and is full of bliss. But because the samsara destroys the seshatvam, the servitude attitude of the Atma, the jñātritvam and anandamayatvam are also gone. Let's see how this works. Before that, let's make sure we understand these terms. Sheshatvam means a servant. I am the servant of Krishna. That understanding is called Sheshatvam. Not only understanding, applying what has been understood. Being a servant is Sheshatvam. I am the slave of the Lord. I am the servant and He is the master. Jñātritvam meaning the knowledge of the Atma, which is also an essential nature, which cannot be separated from the Atma. Anandamayatvam means the blissful nature. Atma by itself is always blissful. It is only because of the contact of the material nature the Atma is not able to experience that anandamayatvam, the blissful nature. But the fundamental point is, once we forget that Krishna is Swami, Master, and I am His servant, then our knowledge is lost and our blissful nature is also gone. When the seshatvam knowledge is gone, that I am not the servant of Lord, then what is left out is the knowledge of independence. Not that knowledge is totally gone, but that knowledge of being servant of Lord is gone, leaving the knowledge that I am independent of Krishna. Swatantriyam, that is called Swatantriyam. I am not dependent on Krishna. I am an independent entity, independent from Krishna. This thought or idea of thinking an attribute of an object to be something else is called anyata jnana. For example, a person sees a conch, shankar, which is white in color. But then, for that person, it doesn't appear to be white, he sees it as an yellow. So he identified that to be a conch, but then the attribute is seen differently. This is called anyata-jnana. Whereas a person sees an object and thinks the object to be some other object itself, is called viparita-jnana. For example, a person sees a rope, but then thinks that to be a snake. So the previous one, anyata-jnana, is a person able to identify the object as it is, but then the attribute or object is confused, is seen differently. That is anyata-jnana. When a person sees an object but thinks that object to be some other object, that is called viparita-jnana. So what do we understand from this? The nature of Atma is sheshatvam, meaning depending on the Lord, which is called paratantriya. But I think differently. It is not paratantriya, I am not depending on the Lord, I am independent, swatantriya, which means anyata jnana. I am thinking myself to be Atma, but I am independent of Krishna. I am not dependent on Krishna. I am not the servant of Krishna. I am master by myself. This is called ajnana, that which is not true knowledge. That means there is no direct knowledge. We are entangled in the anyata jnana, which is ajnana. That means the Atma has lost its jnatritva swarupa as well. Once this knowledge is gone, and where is the question of anandamayatvam, bliss, that is also gone. So to circle back, to connect again, mṛtyu kills the body, samsara kills the swarupa, the seshatvam. Therefore, mṛtyu-saṁsāra, the samsara is called mṛtyu, which kills our real identity. It is said, samsāra-sāgaram ghoram ananta klesha bhajanam tvameva sharanam prapya nistaranti manishinaha. This is stated in Jitante Stotram. That is, the samsara is described as an ocean owing to several reasons. Samsara is like ocean, which is ghoram. Ghoram means hellish. Ananta klesha bhajanam, meaning it is the reservoir of endless adversities, unlimited problems and sufferings. Let's understand what is samsara. We often hear this term. It is a complex mixture of ignorance, that is avidya, deeds, which is karma, traces of previous desires, which is called vasanas, taste, ruchi, towards enjoyment, and connection with the nature, that is the prakriti sampanda, and 6 emotional states, kama, krodha, lobha and so forth, and 6 transformation, garbha, janma, jara and so forth. So it's a complex mixture of all these things is what called as samsara. even children, friends, and spouses, being the effect of these causes, are also encompassed by the word samsara. They're all part of the samsara. Therefore, samsara is described as an ocean which has no beginning and no end. It has no boundaries. It pulls deep into itself those who step into it. It can only be entered into, but once entered into, one cannot find a way out to the shore by oneself without some special help. And that is explained here. Tvameva sharanam prapya nistarante manishinaha. Tvameva sharanam prapya. Tvam, it is only by you, Krishna, who has great qualities. Eva, no one else except you single-handedly can save me. Similarly, in Stotra Ratnam by Yamunacharya Alavandar, he cries out, saying, Aparādha sagasra bhajanam patitam bhīma bhavarna odhare agatim sharanagatam hare kripaya kevalamat samatkuru. O Lord Hari, please mercifully accept this person who is a storehouse of thousands of offenses, who has fallen into the terrible ocean of repeated birth and death, who has no place to go, and who now begs shelter from you. And in many other places, like Mukundamala Stotra, Varajarajastavam, this world, the samsara, is compared to the ocean, which is filled with many dangerous aquatics, and the waves tosses the living entity in all different directions. The living entity is struggling for its survival. The only refuge, only way for this living entity to survive is by taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, who is the only Savior who can effortlessly lift us out of this samsara. And that is what is told here. Ahaṁ samuddhartā. I become the swift deliverer. So this is the answer for Arjuna's question at the starting of this chapter. Between the Atma Upasaka and Bhagavat Upasaka, who attains their goal easily, quickly. And here Krishna says, those who are bhaktas, my worshipper, who worships me in my personal form, are the one who attains me quickly. How? Because I personally become their deliverer. I personally intervene in favor of my devotees. In the case of Atma Upasakas or impersonal form worshippers, I do not intervene in their program, but it is me who bless them to attain their desired goal. When Krishna said, I deliver them swiftly, how swiftly does Krishna deliver? That is stated in Varaha Purana, Nayami Paramam Sthanam Achiradi Gatim Vina Garudaskandam āropya yatecham anivartitaha. That is, I deliver them very quickly. Why? Because I am not able to bear their separation. I put them on the shoulder of Garuda, bring them to my Dhamma, my abode. They attain my abode without having to go through the path of light and the waxing fortnight. There are a number of lessons we learned from these two slokas. To summarize, those who hold me alone as the supreme goal, dedicate all their activities to me without having any other motive, have their mind focused exclusively on me, and adore me through meditation, worship, etc. I save such great devotees soon from the ocean of samsara called death. In the upcoming next few verses, Krishna going to prescribe Arjuna certain steps. They are very interesting and shows Krishna's heart, compassionate nature. Krishna wants to give opportunity to everyone come back to him. Etu sarvāṇi karmāṇi mayi sannyasya mat-parāḥ ananyenaiva yogena dhyāyanta upāsate teṣām ahaṁ samuddhartā mṛtyu-saṁsāra-sāgarāt bhavāmi cirāt pārtha mayi āveśita-cetasām. Namaste. Hare Krishna.